Lauren Carpenter. You may know me as Stepmom Lauren. And we have real football coming this Thursday. I am so excited. I can hardly contain myself. It's real. It's here. I cannot wait, which means we are going to be talking about our week one prize picks, but we have a pretty cool show lined up for you today as well. So not only do we have prize picks for week one, we have injury updates. We have last minute waivers. If you want to change somebody on your team and you just drafted and you were too drunk and didn't like how it turned out, that's okay. I might have some options for you. And let's say you want to stream some quarterbacks, maybe some tight ends. I have that for you today too. But first, as always, everybody, if you have not done so, please go to prizepicks.com and use the promo code MMN because you get your deposit up to $100 match. That's free money. It is fun. I love Prize Picks. It is kind of my new obsession. And we also have a new contest, which is very exciting. It is the Mayo Media Network 7-11 Challenge. That's right. It's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is pick 5 over-unders. Make sure you do it every single week because there is like a season-long contest within this contest, which is really cool. So 5 over-under picks that equal $7.11, hence the 7-11 Challenge. Now, if you use your promo code MMN to sign up, don't forget you're getting your deposit doubled, which is pretty cool. But if you have already signed up for Prize Picks, don't worry, you are still eligible. Just remember, they track this by seeing that $7.11. So go ahead, pick 5 over-unders every week, submit that for $7.11, and let's have fun with this. It's going to be super cool. I cannot wait, and I will be updating the leaderboard every single week just for you guys. So before I go ahead and jump into my prize picks for week one, we do have some injury updates that I think are kind of pertinent to the week one season. So let me just jump right into those. First of all, we have a full go for Dak Prescott. That is very exciting. Also, CeeDee Lamb was taken off of the COVID-19 reserve list, which is also very exciting, not only for Cowboys fans, but for fantasy and betting in general. So that is very exciting. Week one, Dak Prescott, a full go. On some, not awesome news, both wide receivers Brandon Ayuk for the San Francisco 49ers as well as wide receiver Kenny Golladay for the Giants are both dealing with hamstring issues. Now, this is nothing new for Kenny Golladay. If you had him on your fantasy team like I did last year, you might be still a little heartbroken. But they're supposed to play in week one. But even Kenny Golladay admitted that he was going to be kind of slow. So that is something to keep in mind when you are placing bets, when you are putting in your starting lineup for week one. Brandon Ayuk and Kenny Golladay, hamstring issues. And then Washington football team's wide receiver Curtis Samuel. He's been dealing with kind of a groin issue, and Ron Rivera seems, happy. He seems positive. That he's going to go for week one. I don't really know. So I don't love this, but you do know what I love it for, is for Prize Picks, which I will get into in just a minute. And, Carson Wentz, I guess he's good because he's supposed to go. And if he can't go, it's going to be Jacob Eason. So that's not good. So the backup should really be Sam Ehlinger, who is the better of the two back stringers, if you will, second and third string for the Colts. Unfortunately, Sam Ehlinger is dealing with a knee sprain. So if Carson Wentz cannot go, it's Jacob Eason, and that means you fade all of your Colts players in that case. But he should be going. He should be starting. He should be a full go. That's Carson Wentz for the Indianapolis Colts. And also some sad news too. I'm super bummed about this. Lots of sad news from this offseason. But if you haven't heard already, tight end Irv Smith from the Vikings is likely going to miss the entire season with I think it's surgery on his torn meniscus. I mean, it's a big deal. That really stinks. So good luck. Speedy recovery to tight end Irv Smith, but just be aware of that for anyone who has been waiting on tight ends and going ahead and drafting him really late in your drafts. He is now likely going to miss the entire season. And DeAndre Swift, running back for the Detroit Lions, is also still kind of dealing with some core muscle issue or just a core issue. He missed a lot of training camp and he sat out the preseason. So there is a lot of concern when it comes to DeAndre Swift, which again, I will also touch on when I touch on my week one prize picks because spoiler alert, he is in there. So if you have not done so already, go pick up Jamal Williams, whether you have DeAndre Swift on your fantasy squad or not. He is going to be an excellent stash, especially with that Anthony Lynn offense who loves his running backs by committee. So DeAndre Swift, Lots of concern. Keep your eye out. And remember, this is early injury report, guys. So always remember to keep your eyes on your players and figure out before the game starts if they're going to be a full go or not, and then make preparations to, move some things around in your lineup. All right, without further ado, let's go right into Prize Picks. As I mentioned, DeAndre Swift banged up. So for him under rushing, if you're following along on prizepicks.com, promo code MMN. And guess what? I have 5 over-unders on here that I'm going to tell you about. How convenient for that 7-Eleven challenge. But DeAndre Swift, he has a line here at 58.5 rushing yards. I am going the under on 58.5 rushing yards. Like we said, banged up, and the Detroit Free Press confirms that there is, quote, at least some concern over his week 1 status. And as I mentioned, he missed time in training camp. He sat out the preseason. Kind of yucky. It's a timeshare with Jamal Williams anyway. So I am going the under with DeAndre Swift. And another one that stood out to me a little bit here is running back Myles Gaskin. So the line here is 53.5, and I'm going to go with the under. Do I think he could get close? I do. I think he could get close to that line. But there's a lot going on here that I think makes me believe that he won't quite get there. And the reason why is there is a whole host of other running backs that are going to be on the squad, and they're playing the New England Patriots. So I don't exactly believe that the Dolphins are going to be, hugely running away with this game against the Patriots. And, Mac Jones is starting his very first regular season NFL game. So too many mouths to feed there. So I'm going to go with the under on Myles Gaskin at 53.5 yards. And moving right along, let's go to our passing tab here. And if you missed my episode with my good friend Laquan Jones, go ahead and research that. Go find that because he has some pretty great takes on Justin Herbert and why you should smash the over on Justin Herbert. I am going to switch gears a little bit and move away from Justin Herbert. And another one I think is kind of juicy here is Zach Wilson. I'm going to go the under for Zach Wilson at 249.5 passing yards. Okay, Zach Wilson has been the Abercrombie and Fitch darling golden boy of the rookies that have come in for the starting quarterbacks, and he is uber cute. Who doesn't love just a little cutie patootie? But at the same time, this is his very first NFL regular season game. They have another team that has a host of running backs that they're probably going to work in this lineup at some point. There is going to be Tevin Coleman, Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, LaMarcus Pirine. I think these players are going to be touching the ball. So do you really want to just throw your, brand new rookie quarterback out there and just toss and toss and toss? I don't know. So I think that 249.5 yards for Zach Wilson is a little high. So I'm going to go the under on him for his NFL rookie debut. All right, and let's move on to receiving. If you're following along again, it's over on the next tab next to passing. And this one makes me sad because I love this player very dearly, but we take our heart out of these things, right? We need to use our head. And I'm going to go ahead and go the under on Adam Thielen. I know, Thielen, I'm so hooked on a Thielen. I think he's fabulous. I had to work it in there, guys. I don't care if it's a dad joke, but I had to do it. So his line is at 69.5 receiving yards. He is a little banged up. Even if he is banged up, he's still really good, so I get it. But Justin Jefferson is there, and he is very, very good. He established himself as a huge threat in his rookie season. They're also signing, or they already signed, I should say, tight end Chris Herndon, who in 2018 had an explosive rookie year, which is kind of unheard of for a tight end. So even though there is no Irv Smith, there is Chris Herndon. So I'm curious as to how much the offense is going to want to work him into the game plan just to kind of see what they have in this kid. And he's also a red zone threat as well. So I'm wondering how much they're really going to push Adam Thielen in week 1 when they really need him to stay healthy for this extended regular season that we have moving forward. So again, his line is at 69.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go ahead and go the under with Adam Thielen. Okay, so everybody remember promo code MMN, prizepicks.com, and the 7-Eleven challenge, 5 over-under picks that equal $7.11. There is a description there's full details in the description of this video that you can go ahead and check out. There's also a link to sign up for prizepicks.com in the description of this video. Go check it out. Join the contest. It's going to be a ton of fun, but we're not here just for prize picks. even though it's really fun and you should sign up because, again, I'm pretty seriously obsessed with it. We also have other stuff like waiver wire targets. Now, I know we haven't even had one single game of regular season football, but that's okay because when we draft, sometimes we're not exactly the most, responsible of human beings. Maybe you put a few back and don't like your team, or maybe there were some injuries, something that you really need to change on your squad. I 100% get it. So I'm here for you to take a look at some of these waiver wire targets that could be available to you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start at the running back position, which is usually very thin, but there are some options. First, I'm going to give you a few names that are likely rostered, but double check just in case. And those are Kenyon Drake from the Las Vegas Raiders. He's about 70% rostered, so there is a possibility he's free. If you are in a PPR league, he is kind of a mustache for me. The next one, speaking of DeAndre Swift, I speak English, I swear. Jamal Williams, running back Detroit Lions, guys. I cannot express to you how much I want Jamal Williams on every single team that I have. He is about 74% rostered, so unlikely that he's available, but if he is, just in case, go check it out. Put him on your team if you can. Some other names that are less rostered are J.D. McKissic for the Washington football team. I know everyone is the Antonio Gibson truther. That is totally okay because I think McKissic will still get involved as well. He's only 36% rostered. And these are according to Yahoo. Remember to check your own platform and just see. They're usually around the same. Sometimes there's a big difference, but let's just call it around 36% rostered for J.D. McKissic. Also, Carlos Hyde is another name with Travis Etienne, the rookie running back who is out for the season. He is only 16% rostered. Tevin Coleman, as I mentioned before, when we were talking about the Jets, is an interesting name if you really need someone to plug in at running back. He should see a bulk of the carries, even if they're going to be rotating in some other running backs there for New York. He's about 20% rostered as well. And then I know everybody loves Jonathan Taylor. I love Jonathan Taylor too, but guess what? There are other running backs on that squad like Nyheim Hines and Marlon Mack. And Marlon Mack is only 12% rostered. So again, if you really need someone that you want to plug in at your running back position. Maybe you're really weak at flex. These are guys that you can pick up, stash, see if they really do anything because you never know. If they do, you can always have some trade value with these players as well. So let's move right along. Let's go into wide receivers. Now, this is a little bit more open than the running back position is, which it usually is when it comes to those positional values. But for wide receivers, Randall Cobb, guys, is back. He is back at Green Bay. He is back with Aaron Rodgers. They are besties, and it's obvious, okay? So Randall Cobb is one of those really sneaky pickups that I like. He's around 17% rostered. Another name which is interesting, although I believe he is still kind of dealing with some injury here, which a little concerning, but again, if you want to add some wide receiver depth, Traquan Smith for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, we're not going to see Michael Thomas, which is a bummer, but if you had him on your roster last year like I did, yes, I know, I had Michael Thomas and Kenny Golladay. I was sad last year. So we'll just leave that in the past. Bitterness must stay. Back in 2020, the hot mess of a year. But Traquan Smith is still on that roster as much as the sparkly Marquez Callaway truthers are going to want to just ignore him, but he's there. And he's only about 8% rostered. Keep an eye on his status. Another player I really like, Gabriel Davis out of Buffalo. Okay, he is that big, deep, downfield threat that just can make huge plays. When he's going to make those huge plays, a little bit tougher. But I think he's going to get worked into the offense a little bit more this year. He's also only like 9% rostered, so he's available. Very deep dive here. Quintez Cephas. I didn't bring up Tyrell Williams here because I think he's a little bit more rostered, but Quintez Cephas, Detroit Lions, I don't love this. This is if you're in a super deep league, you need some depth at wide receiver, go ahead and pick up Quintez Cephas. He's only 1% rostered. You can also look at Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. So finally, let's go ahead and look at some tight ends. Now, if you're streaming the position, this can actually be the same. So we're going to talk about waiver wire targets for tight ends, but they can also be considered streaming positions as well. So Jared Cook, he is now on the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers have lost Hunter Henry to the Patriots. So Jared Cook is only 27% rostered. Now, I like this because Jared Cook is a big-bodied tight end, and he is a monster in the red zone. So he is one of those guys I would love to stash. You can play him in some juicy tight end matchups, but remember, he's going to be boom or bust. Another one here is a little bit more of a spicy name, but it's Pat Freiermuth from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had that 2-touchdown preseason game. Eric Ebron had a drop. Shocking, because he's good at doing that. He's also good at catching the ball, but his hands have been a little bit Criscoed up in the past. So I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Pat Freiermuth if your bench allows it, or if you want to stream some tight ends, keep your eye on him. He's about 10% rostered. And then, as I mentioned, Chris Herndon. This is an opportunity for him to get out from underneath the thumb of Adam Gase. He is in a new home with the Vikings. They have a need to fill now that Irv Smith is likely out for the season. So he's only about 3% rostered, and he is very good. Again, 2018 explosive year, so maybe he can kind of rekindle a little bit of that with Kirk Cousins with the Vikings. And those were your waiver wire targets / tight end streamers, but we're not done with the streamers. Nay, quarterbacks. I'm a big believer in waiting on quarterbacks and making sure that the rest of my team can be filled appropriately based on where I'm at in the draft. And that sometimes means that I get late round quarterbacks, or maybe I just want to stream the quarterback position. It's tough, but it's not impossible. Check out Sam Darnold versus the Jets. Yeah, this is going to be kind of interesting. I like Sam Darnold. I think he has a great home this year with the Panthers, and this is going to be really cool and really interesting. So Sam Darnold, look for him if you are in need of a quarterback streamer. And another one is Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Two Gloves is pretty consistent. He's reliable. He has also managed to sustain 3 wide receivers. So if you are, again, streaming this position, check out those two, and that's Teddy Bridgewater versus the Giants too. So there's that. I like him a lot. So another position you may be streaming besides the quarterback position is going to be your defense special teams. So I have 2 here because I think it's kind of interesting, right? So Jacksonville or Houston. I know, it's gross, but hear me out. This is going to boil down to quarterback play, right? So there's a rookie quarterback. I always do this. I say Wookie because every single time I say rookie, I just say Wookie. So let's just call him Wookie. They have a Wookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence for Jacksonville Jaguars, and his beautiful flow. Not as nice as Justin Herbert's, but that's neither here nor there. So that is an opportunity for Houston to step up to the plate and kind of exploit maybe some Week 1 jitters that Trevor Lawrence may have. You never know. And then on the other side of the ball for the Houston Texans, it's Tyrod Taylor at the helm. Also a hot mess, and every running back on the Houston Texans is likely qualified or just about to qualify for AARP. So that kind of gives Jacksonville at least a little bit of an opportunity to maybe stop the run and also disrupt the passing game with Tyrod Taylor at the helm for the Houston Texans. So that's all you have from me today. Oh, it's week 1, Thursday football. Oh, Cowboys, Buccaneers. I'm so excited. Can you tell? I absolutely cannot wait. Thank you so much again for joining me on this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you have, thank you very much. Also, promo code MMN for prizepicks.com. The full details for the 7-Eleven challenge are in the description of this video. And you can also follow us at MayoMediaNet on Twitter. And we will have the detailed descriptions about the contest there too. So thank you so much again for joining me. Good luck in week 1, everybody, and we'll see you next week.